Takadosh Boker Or, Daf Yomi Masechet Shevuot Daf Yud Tet Amud Aleph. So we were talking about right now in the middle of the Daf, where it says over here like this, Rabbi Akiva. We're talking about now Rabbi Akiva. After the Gemara is going to explain Shitat Rabbi Eliezer, the Gemara is going to explain why doesn't Rabbi Akiva make the same drasha. So Rabbi Akiva, I did the baile michtav behema vechaya. Since the Gemara needed to write behema and chaya, the Rabbi, just like Rabbi, Ktiv Nami, it's also written Sheretz. It's also written Sheretz, right? So the Tana of Rabbi Shmuel, just like Tana of Rabbi Shmuel taught, Kol Parasha Shneimar V'Nishnit. Anytime that you're going to come and have a parasha that's written and it's going to be written again, like a second time around, Lo Nishnet Ela Bishvil Davar Shenitchadesh Ba. The reason why it was written was in order to teach us something new. What does it mean something new? I mean, it wasn't just stam. There was something new that was supposed to be taught. So that means even though the entire thing is not going to be a chidush. Okay, so therefore we say that it's not always like going to be like this, but only in a place where it's mashma, that is the kavanah of the Torah. So therefore, to do with us, Rabbi Akiva holds that since it says b'chol davar tameh v'ne'elam mimenu, so this is going to come and this is going to teach us, right, that you do not have to check, right, bidyuk is it tum'ah nitma, right, because again, right, the mashma'ut is the exact opposite. Nivlat sheretz tameh. But without this mashmaut, I would have said that there's a klal. Kol hechadikal midras tarashinan. And therefore there's nothing extra. Fine. The Rabbi Eliezer, and according to Rabbi Eliezer, yeah, he says, Hai ba, my avidle. What do you do with the word ba? Yeah, what do you do with the word ba? Why don't you come to the table? Yeah, he says, what do you do with the word ba? So he says, prat lemitasek. When it says prat lemitasek, what does that mean? A person is going to be chayav chatat only if he did it b'chavana, but it was an act, like it was by mistake. But he did the action b'chavana, not mitasek. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Imagine right now you forgot at Shabbat. You came into this room and you turned on the light. What do? You bring a korban chatat, right? Why? You did it accidentally. What happens if you were walking by, right, and all of a sudden, right, I pushed you, and your elbow hit the light and turned on the light? What happens? Nothing. You don't even bring a korban chatat. The reason why is because korban chatat is only going to be when you do something b'shogeg. Shogeg means it was an accident. Here it wasn't even an accident. Here it's called like force majeure. This is like mitasek. Mitasek is I'm doing something, so it's nothing in your control, nothing to do with you. So you don't even have to do it. So the same thing here. When it says the word ba, no, also I didn't want to push him into the light. I saw my. What do you mean? You wanted? No, so then you would be chayav. Right? The guy that did it. Rabbi Yochanan comes and he says, "Mashmaut dorshini kibanayim." You know the machloke between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva is? What is the drasha exactly? Right? Because both of them are going to come and they're both going to argue on Rabbi Shmuel, and they hold that there's not going to be a chiyuv, right, to bring a korban olev yored, right? So he says, "V'chen amar Rav Sheshat." That's also Rav Sheshat says, "Mashmaut dorshini kibanayim." The Rav Sheshat, right? He says the Rav Sheshat, right? He comes, he says the machlif to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer. So he comes and he says, right? Yeah, he says when Rav Sheshat was making a difference between the Talmidim, right? He used to come and make a differentiation between the different Tanaim. So he said Rabbi Eliezer, the name of Rabbi Akiva, the opposite, because there's no chiluk, right? Biikar hadin. Okay, fine. Ba min Rava Rav Nachman. Asks Rava from Rav Nachman. Yeah, according to what we just said, that whether it's going to be Rabbi Eliezer or Rabbi Akiva, helem ze veze biado mau. What happens if a person also forgot about the Tumah and he also forgot about the coming to the Bet HaMikdash? Is he chayav a korban or not? So Elmaleh, he says, haret helem Tumah biado vechayav. At the end of the day, he forgot about the Tumah, so he's still going to be chayav, right? Why wouldn't he be chayav? So he says, Adra, but the opposite. He should be patur. Meaning, since you have two different helems, are you going to be chayav because there's helem tuma, or are you going to be patur because there's helem mikdash, and you forgot that you even went to the Bet HaMikdash? So says the Gemara, Amar Ravashi says, Chazinan, we're going to see imi tuma kaparish, hare helem tuma biyado v'chayav. Imi mikdash kaparish, Meaning like this, we're going to say when he's going out of the mikdash, when other people told him that he's going to be tameh, so therefore then it's helem tuma biyado, right? We tell him, I have to run out, so then he's going to be chayav. He says, but if when he's coming out of the Bet HaMikdash, when they told him that he's in the Bet HaMikdash, they didn't even tell him about the tumah, so then it's helem mikdash biyado, and he's going to be patur in such a case. So he says, Amar le Ravin and Ravashi, klum parish mimikdash al mishum tumah. One second, why is he leaving the Bet HaMikdash? The only reason why he's leaving the Bet HaMikdash is he became tameh. So for automatically, they told him he's tameh. If he told him he's tameh, so then he's going to be chayav. So what are you talking about then? So he says, klum parish mitumah al mishum mikdash. He says, there's no difference. Meaning, it doesn't matter what is the yidiyah, which is gorem lo latzet. In any case, he has two helims, and therefore he should be patur. So Tanu Rabbanan, we're going to come and we're going to bring a proof. Let's see like this. Shne shivilim. Or shne shvilim is, yeah, two paths. Yeah, there's two paths. Yeah, he says like this. Echad tameh ve'echad tahor. Yeah, you guys listening, right? One of them is tameh and one is tahor. Ve'alach barishon ve'lo nichnas b'sheni, right? Ve'lo nichnas, sorry. B'sheni ve'nichnas. So what happened was like this. One person comes and he goes into one path, right? And he doesn't go into the Bet HaMikdash. And then he went into the second path. Now, he knows that for sure he's going to be now tameh. And now he goes into the Bet HaMikdash. He's going to be chayav. Makes sense, no? What again? One more time. One of them is tameh, one of them is tahor. You go into the first one, right? You don't know which one. You don't know which one is tameh, which one is tahor. But you know one is tameh, one is tahor. You don't know which is which. You go into the first one, and you don't go into the Bet HaMikdash. Then you go into the second one, and then you go into the Bet HaMikdash. So for sure you're going to be tameh. Chazak u'baruch. So you're going to be chayav. Halach barishon v'nichnas. Yeah. What happens if you went into the first path, and then you went into the Bet HaMikdash? And then afterwards, right? Hiza v'shana. What does that mean? They went and they did the hazah on the Yom HaShlishi v'Yom HaShvi. What is hazah? Aywa. Paraduma. Sprinkling of the paraduma. Lehazot. Right? Sheva pamim. Exactly. You have to sprinkle. You have to sprinkle. Right? You have to sprinkle. Right? You have to sprinkle on the human being. You sprinkle him from the waters of the mechatat of the paraduma, and then it becomes tahor from tumah. So he comes and he does that. V'taval ve'achar kach halach b'sheni. Then afterwards he goes to, right? He goes to the second one, yeah. V'nichnas, and then he goes to the Bet HaMikdash. He's going to be chayav. Yeah, he's also going to be chayav. Why? Iman Avshach, in one of the times he went into the meaning like this. What happened? One more time. He went into one path. He went into the Bet HaMikdash. But then he was taval. After taval, he went into the second path, and then again nichnas. He's not clean. One more time. One more time. The taval was afterwards. One more time. Right? Everyone pay attention. The first time he goes into one path, he goes straight to the Bet HaMikdash. If that path was tameh, so what happened? He's chayav. Fine. Even if that path was tahor, what happened? He went into the Bet HaMikdash, and then afterwards, he zah. He got cured. Okay? Then what happened? He went to the second path. And then again, he went into the Bet HaMikdash. So in both cases, Miman Avshach, one of them, he became tameh and he went directly into the Bet HaMikdash without being sprinkled. If it was the first one, it was the first one. Then he got purified in between. And then he went into the second path. And then he went straight to the Bet HaMikdash. So Miman Avshach, it doesn't matter which one it was, he was tameh going into the Bet HaMikdash. No, don't make it another case. We're talking about the case of the Gemara. Yeah? No, what if? Somebody wants to, well, what if? What if, I don't know what the sky is, I don't know what. We're not talking about what ifs. There's no what ifs. What? Okay. No, but remember, it's different days. No, but it doesn't matter. No, but in the first case, he went into both, right? Into both paths, right? The first case, he went into one path, he didn't go into the Bet HaMikdash. He went into the second path, now he went into the Bet HaMikdash. Mimanav Shach, he was tameh, whether it's from path A or path B. The second case, 1 minute. Second case, right? What happened is that he went into the first path and he went into the Bet HaMikdash. So technically, I'm already a doubt. Why? Maybe he was tameh. He went into the Bet HaMikdash. Okay. Now they come and they sprinkle him. The sprinkling process is not a 2-second process. You come and you tell me, oh, you went out to Tahor. I went out Tahor. But Yom HaShlishi, there's 7 days in between. Well, you went out Tahor. Right? It's not a 2-second, you turn on the light, turn on the switch, and turn off the... Well, it's not a car wash. No, it's mamash. It's 7 days plus tevilah. And in the third day, right, you come and you get sprinkled. And the 7th day, you come and you get sprinkled. Right? So it's not just tama v'nistapag and that's it. Yeah, fine. What happens? You went into the second path. And then again, you go to the Bet HaMikdash. Now the question is going to be, what happens now? Again, you're going to be tameh, so you're going to be chayav. Rabbi Shimon comes and he says, in the second case, you're going to be patur. Why? Since you didn't know of the yidiyah vada'it of tum'ah before you went in each one, so therefore, it's only a safek tameh. And a safek tameh, you're not going to be chayav. Everyone understood why it's a safek tameh? Because the first path could have been Tahor. And then what? And then what? Okay, and then what about when he went in the second path? So that one could have been Tahor. Meaning like this. In the first case that we mentioned, right? I want everybody to be on top of it. Don't think about what ifs. Think about the case. Then afterwards you could start asking, right? After 121 what ifs. Listen carefully. You have 2 cases. Case number 1. The guy came into path A. He didn't go into the Bet HaMikdash. He went into path B, and now he went into the Bet HaMikdash. In case A, he was Vadai Tameh, because you only had 2 paths, right? And one of them was Tahor, one of them was Tameh, and for sure he went in both, and there was nothing in between, and he went into the Bet HaMikdash. So in case A, he was for sure Tameh. There was no questions asked. He was for sure Tameh, and he went into the Bet HaMikdash. So he's going to be Chayav. In the second case, each one is a safek. Why? He went into the first path, and then he went into the Bet HaMikdash. I have a doubt. Maybe the path that he went in is Tahor. I don't know. Now he comes and he gets purified. Now he goes to the second path, and now he goes to the Bet HaMikdash. So now again, I'm not sure. Why? Because I don't know whether it is going to be Tameh, whether it's going to be Tahor. I don't know. So because it's a doubt on both, and it's not a vadai on any single time that it came into the Bet HaMikdash, says Rabbi Shimon, you're going to be patur. Yes, but there was a difference between them now, because in each one, after the first one, he was purified. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda poter bechulan mishum Rabbi Shimon, but Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda, he comes and he argues on the previous Tana, and he says that Rabbi Shimon was poter in both cases. Meaning, in the first case, there was only chayav. There was no other opinion. Only in the second case did it say Rabbi Shimon poter. According to Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda, in the name of Rabbi Shimon, in both cases you're going to be patur. Now he says, what does that mean exactly? Right? Bekulan, right? Are you going to come and you're going to tell me bekulan? Bafilu bekamaita yutetamu bet 19b. Bafilu bekamaita, even in the first case. Why? Mimanav shach tameu. Mimanav shach, he's going to be tameh. Right? It doesn't make sense. Why? Why in the world would Rabbi Shimon say that even in the first case you're going to be patur? So Amar Rava comes and he says, Hachama eskin, what are we dealing with? Kegon shalach barishon. He went in the first one. Uvisha shalach b'sheni. Shachach shalach barishon. You went in the first one, and then okay, fine, you left the first one. Now all of a sudden the next day you come and you go through the second one. When you went through the second one, you forgot that yesterday you used the first path. You thought you used the same path twice. So therefore, right? The havyale miktzat yediyah. It's only miktzat yediyah b'tumah. You don't have a vaday yediyah b'tumah. Ubehaka mipalgeh. So this is a machloka between them. Tanakama savar amnina. And Tanakama holds that we do hold miktzat yediyah is like a yediyah, kechol yediyah. Rabbi Shimon savar, Rabbi Shimon holds that we don't say miktzat yediyah kechol yediyah. Meaning like this: we said that in order for you to be chayav, you need to know that there was a vaday tum'ah. If you went in the first path, and then fine, the next day you forgot you went in the first path, you went in the second path, and you thought that you went in the second path yesterday also as well. So therefore, you don't have vaday tum'ah because you always think that I went in the same path. Now it's true, I don't know which path had the tum'ah, but it's not a vaday tum'ah. If each day you went on a different path, you're vaday tameh, there's no doubt. But the fact that I forgot that yesterday I went in the first path, and now I'm going through the second path, and I thought that I went in the second path also yesterday, so for that's why you're going to be patur. So therefore, that's why he says you're going to be patur. Rabbi Shimon holds that miktzat idiyah is not called idiyah, not like the Tanakama. Okay, fine. Halach barishon v'nichnas hiza v'shana. Right? What happens? V'taval chazar v'alach b'sheni v'nichnas chayav. Rabbi Shimon poter. So this was the second case. One more time. He went into one path and he went into the Bet Mikdash. So now, again, I have a doubt. I don't know. Which path did he go in? Did he go into the Tahor or Tomeh? He went into the Bet Mikdash. He comes, he gets the Paraduma, he does Tevilah, he now goes to the second path. And now again, he goes into the Bet Mikdash. And then again, he gets purified. But one second, in between, here, he for sure went in both paths. And he for sure went to the Bet Mikdash after each path. But Rabbi Shimon says you're going to be patur. So it says the Gemara, why? You should be, right? V'amai chayav. Why are you going to be chayav according to Tanakama? Safek idiyahu. The safek idiyah. So Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, Kanasu safek idiyah ki idiyah. You see from here that according to Shitat Chachamim, safek idiyah is like a idiyah. Meaning even though they don't know for sure, meaning each one was a 50-50 chance. Right? Each time that he comes in, it's a 50-50 chance. He doesn't know. Yes, no, I don't know. The rabbis made it. The 50 chance is like 100% chance. So the Shakish comes and he says, how many, who is this? Rabbi Shmuel. This Shitat Rabbi Shmuel. According to Shitat Rabbi Shmuel, you don't need the yediyah at the beginning at all in order to be mechayev a korban on Tumah Mikdash. So according to him, you're going to be chayav in such a case, even though you don't have a yediyah. So our braita is Rabbi Shmuel, meaning who's the Tanakama? At the beginning, we said the Tanakama was a Chachamim, because they made the safek yediyah like a yediyah. Second, Shita the Shakish, she comes and he says, no, Rabbi Shmuel. Why? You don't need yediyah batchala. And you're going to be chayav even without the yediyah batchala. So says the Gemara, we're going to ask a stira between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yochanan, and a stira between Rabbi Shakish and Rabbi Shakish. The Tanya was we learned to the Braita. Achal safek chelev v'noda. Safek chelev v'noda. Right? What happens if a person ate b'shogeg safek chelev? Right? Remember, chelev is prohibited fats, but it's a doubt if it's prohibited fats. Meaning, when you come and you do shchita to an animal, and you go through the animal, parts of the fats of the animal are permitted, and parts of the fats of the animals are prohibited. It's called chelev. There's chelev and shuman. Chelev is the prohibited fats. Shuman is the permitted fats. So imagine a person comes, and he starts eating b'shogeg safek chelev. Okay. Now what happens is, he knows about it. So therefore, once he knows about it, he's chayav an hasham talui. Because hasham talui is a guilt offering, but you're not sure whether you did it or not. So it's talui. Talui means it's hanging, because I don't know whether you did it for sure or not. Usually when you bring a korban, you bring it that for sure you did something. For example, a person came and he turned on the light. He did it by accident. Huh?
It's like marriage.
What's like marriage?
You don't know what you did, but probably you did something wrong.
Okay. So then you're always going to bring an hasham talui. Yeah? So therefore, what happens? Right? You come and you turn on the light. You did it. You have to come and you have to bring a korban. Korban what? Korban chatat. Here you have an hasham talui. An hasham talui is, you don't know if you did something wrong or not. So you have to bring an hasham talui. Then again, you eat another safek chelef. And then again, noda. Rabbi comes and he says, Keshem shemevi chatat al kol echad ve'echad. Just like you bring a chatat on every single time that you did something accidentally, כך מביא השם תלוי על כל אחד ואחד. So to here, you're going to bring an השם תלוי in each one. For the two times that you ate safek chelev. 1 minute. Right? So therefore, right? He says, Shimon and Yudav Rabbi Elazar Shimon Amru Shimon. Eno mevi Hashem talui echad. You're only going to bring one Hashem talui. He says for the chelef. Shneimar, but it says in the pasuk, right? Vevi, it says to do the Hashem talui. Vevi ha'el tamim la'Hashem v'chmel lava kol shigato shegag. HaTorah ribta shigagot arbe v'Hashem talui echad. Meaning he's saying that the Torah specifically came and told you al shigato asher shagag, al harbe shigagot. Harbe shigagot like echad. What does it mean like echad? You did a lot of times, but you're not really sure be'emet bichal if you did the avera. So on each time it's an Hashem talui. But he says, well, one Hashem talui could be poter for all of them, for all these cases. So he says, right? Okay, fine. So now the Gemara is going to bring a machloket of Yochanan and the Shakish on these words that you could bring a chatat, right? Al kol echad ve'echad. So listen carefully. V'amar Shakish, says the Shakish, kan shana Rabbi yediot sfekot mitchalkot lechataot. Here, Rabbi is coming and he's teaching that when a person has idiot of safek shegagot, they're going to be mitchalkot to different chataot, and therefore you're going to be chayav chatat al kol achat ve'achat. You're going to be chayav a chatat on every single one. Meaning, the Shakish is coming and telling you, just like in this case of if a person ate chelef, there's going to be a chatat, right? And it's going to be chatat nifredet when you find out about it. So he comes and he says, the yediat safek, which was in between, already obligates you a chatat on each one. So too, if you didn't know about it, and it's only a safek, you're going to be chayav an Hashem talui on every single one. Because yediat safek between each one is going to be mechalek also to do the Hashem talui, that each one you're going to be chayav. So therefore, the Shakish comes and he says, the yediyah in between, because you knew about it. You ate safek chalev v'noda. You found out. You ate safek chalev v'noda. You found out. Since the finding out was in between each one, it obligates you two different ones. One each one. One for each one. It causes one for everything. 1 second. That is shitat the Shakish. Now let's go to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan argues on the Shakish. And Rabbi Yochanan says, Keshem sheyediot vadai be'alma mitchalkot lechatat, right? Chataot. Kach yediot safek mitchalkot la'ashamot. Says Rabbi Yochanan, he says that's not the kavanah of Rabbi. The kavanah of Rabbi is that just like when you have a vadai in other cases, you always have to bring another chatat, meaning you always have to bring a chatat on every single case usually. So too in the case of this braita, to do with the chelef, yediot safek mitchalkot le'ashamot, to bring you an asham on every single one, okay, on which are coming for shigaga vadait. So too the yediat safek is going to be for an asham that you're going to bring right on the asham when you did b'shogeg. But the yediat safek is not going to be mitchalek for chatat, only for the asham. So therefore, according to Rabbi Yochanan, right, there is no Tana that holds yediat safek is considered the yediah to do with a korban which comes on a vadai, right? Because if not, then he would have said that, but he didn't say that. So this is against Rabbi Yochanan that he said before. Safek yediah is like a vadai yediah. Who's the one that said that? Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan came and he said, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kana asu chachamim safek yediah ka yediah. We just disproved that. Rabbi Yochanan just came beforehand and he just said, here the rabbis, which is the Tanna Kama, are going to make safek yediah like yediah. Says the Gemara right now, that's not true according to Rabbi Yochanan. So that's a stira between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yochanan. Next, we have to find a stira between the Shakish and the Shakish. What did the Shakish say before? The Shakish said before, who is this? Rabbi Ishmael. That according to Rabbi Ishmael, you don't need yediah batchila. Meaning, even without the yediah at the beginning, you're still going to be chayav a korban. So now, what's the stira and the Shakish? Here, he's explaining that according to Rabbi, yediat safek is considered yediah to be mechalek to do with chatat. But from the Braita above, he said, right, that you don't need that. Because you don't need yediah at all. Because he goes like Rabbi Ishmael. So if you don't need yediah at all to be mechayev a korban, right? So therefore, why are you saying over here you do need yediah? But it's yediat safek and it's going to be okay. So says the Gemara, Bishlama the Rabbi Yochanan la kashya. I could answer up the Rabbi Yochanan. The Rabbi Yochanan, it's not a question. It says, kan asu, velo bechol Torah kula asu. Did you realize it said in the Gemara, kan asu chachamim, safek yediyah, yediyah. Here. Only in this case, not everywhere. Meaning, it was a special deed. But meaning they didn't want to come because I guess in the safek of the tumah, they didn't want a person coming in one path and then another path. You came, you ate a piece of fat, and then it was chelev instead of. It wasn't that you have two paths. It wasn't that you had two pieces of chelev. One is shuman, one is chelev, and then no. You had two. No, you had two safek chelev, meaning that you only found out afterwards, right? So therefore, it wasn't the same. Here, the chachamim came and made a special decree, and they said here they made it. That safek is like a vadai. Why? They didn't want you taking the chance. Imagine I'm going to come and tell you as a Kohen, you know what? You've got two paths, right? I don't know. So use the third path. What are you doing? No, I'm going to use the first one, then the second one. Don't play around. Don't play games. So here the Chachamim came and they made a special rule. Asu Chachamim safek like a vadai, but it's only here. So therefore, it's not going to be a question according to Chachamim. Okay. But he says, "Velo bechol Torah kula asu." So hachahu here, right? The loktiv of yediyah behediyah. It's not written mefurash yediyah. Mi v'ne'elam udekati. It's coming from v'ne'elam. V'chol velo bechol Torah kula asu, and therefore they didn't make it in all the entire Torah. Tichtiv, as it says, "Hodalav asher chatato asher chata," which means since it's written yediyah befirush, it has to be yediyah me'aliyata. Meaning, in every single normal case, you need a real yediyah. In this case, you don't need a real yediyah. So in this case, they made a safek yediyah like a vadai yediyah. So it's not a contradiction between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yochanan. Here it's a special din. You understand? Like there's always a Yotzei min haklal. There's always an exception to the rule. Fine. Ela, but rather, l'resh Lakish, according to Resh Lakish, adomukim la Rabbi Ishmael. When we're going to say that they actually made it like Rabbi Ishmael, nukma karebi, right? Resh Lakish. 1 second. Why does he say that Davka has to be like Rabbi Ishmael? Just like say like Rabbi. Meaning, Resh Lakish comes and he says, no, you know who this Braita is? Rabbi Ishmael. And according to Rabbi Ishmael, you don't need Didiyah Batchala. Why did he answer like that? Just answer. It's going like Rabbi. Why does he have to say it's going only according to Rabbi Ishmael? Say it's going according to Rabbi. So he says like this. He says, Hakamash Malan comes to teach you that Rabbi Ishmael lo bae Yidiyah Batchila. That according to Rabbi Ishmael, you don't need the Yidiyah at the beginning. So he says, Pshita de lo bae, obviously, since it's not written in the Torah and it's written extra v'ne'elam, the mechayev al helem mikdash. So he says, no. Ma'u de tema. I would have thought to say, kilet le, when he doesn't hold of it, it's mikrai, right? That's only mitzad, the pasuk, you don't need it. Aval migmara itle, but you do need it from the halachal Moshe Sinai. Kamash Malan comes to teach you that even mitzad halachal Moshe Sinai, you don't need it at all. Meaning we're bringing you a chidush din of Rabbi Ishmael. The chidush din of Rabbi Ishmael was, I would have thought to say mitzad the pasuk, you don't need yidiyah me'atchala. But maybe you do need yidiyah me'atchala mitzad halachal Moshe Sinai. Kamash Malan comes to teach you that even halachal Moshe Sinai, you do not need the pasuk, you don't need the yidiyah at all. And therefore, since according to Shishat Rabbi Ishmael, you don't need the yidiyah at all, you're going to be chayav. And that's how we're going to finish off. That's why he said specifically, this is going like Rabbi Ishmael, teach you that you don't need yidiyah. Ba'atchala hadran alach yediyot atuma. We finished the perek of yediyot atuma, the second chapter. Fine. No. Says the Mishnah. Yutet Amud Bet on the bottom. Mishnah. Starting perek shlishi. Shevuot shtayim shehen arba. There's going to be two different types of Shevuot. Shevuot bitui, which are written mefurash in the Torah. That if a person came and he swore, he's going to be chayav a korban olev yored, which become 4, right? Which meaning from the midrash, you're going to become 4. Shevuah she'ochal v'shelo ochal, right? So therefore, you have the shtayim. What is going to be the shtayim, right? So therefore, if a person comes and he says he makes a shevuah that he's going to eat today, right, from this kikar, right, or he's not going to eat from this kikar. Now, what happens is he went against his shevuah. So either he didn't eat it or he did eat it. So therefore, that is going to be mefurash in the Torah. But in the Torah, it said, nefesh ki tishava le'ara, le'ativ le'ara, right? So he says he's going to be nishva right? She's a sagefet tatzmo, whether he's not going to eat, or le'ativ, that he is going to eat. So therefore, Chachamim come and they learn from the Midrash HaKatuv also another two different types, she'achalti v'shelo achalti, on the past, not only in the future, but on the past, that I ate or that I will not eat. Shevuah shelo ochal ve'achal, right? If right now a person comes and he makes a shevuah that he's not going to eat, and he forgot and he ate kol shehu and he ate any amount, he's going to be chayav, divrei Rabbi Akiva. Meaning, when a person comes and he makes a vow he's not going to eat, even if he ate a little bit, mamash, a little crumb, he's chayav. No, eating. He made a shevuah. Today he's going to do a ta'anit. And all of a sudden, what happens? Boom, he comes and he eats. So even if he eats kol shehu, mamash, any amount, he's going to be chayav. Those are the words of Rabbi Akiva. Amrulo le Rabbi Akiva, they told Rabbi Akiva, Hechal matzinu be'ochel kol shehu shechayav. Right? Where did we ever find that you eat any amount and you're going to be chayav? Right? That here you're going to say he's going to be chayav. Elmaleh Rabbi Akiva says Rabbi Akiva, v'cheicha matzinu b'midbar u'mevi korban. Right? Sorry, medaber u'mevi korban. Sheze medaber u'mevi korban. He comes and he asks you, 1 second, I'm going to ask you back. Where did you see in the Torah that you speak and you bring a korban? Speech, and you bring a korban. Where do you see such a thing? You don't see that. So therefore, the fact that here you have to bring a korban just for your speech, which usually speech is nothing. Speech is not even a word. It's not even action. It's nothing. And you still have to bring a korban. So therefore, you're going to be chayav in kol shu as well. Meaning, Rabbi Akiva was trying to say, here it's a special deen. And if it's a special deen, I could say that it's even any amount. They want to say, yeah, but in the entire Torah, we didn't find any amount. He said, yeah, but in the entire Torah, we didn't find a korban on speech. Amen. So says the Gemara, Lemeimra, are you going to come and you're going to say, the she'ochal de'achilna mashma? 1 second. What did you just say? You told me that there's going to be 2 shevuot which are written in the Torah, she'ochal ve'shelo ochal. And then we said, we added another 2, midrasha, she'achalti ve'shelo achalti, on the past. Okay? 2 in the future, mina Torah, mifurash the Torah. 2 on the past was the extra. Shtaim, that they become 4. Right? Shtaim is on the future, that they become 4, 2 extra on the past. So he says, are you going to tell me now that the she'ochal means the achilna? That he's going to be mechayev to himself, that he's going to come and eat? Or meaning, we have a contradiction, Shevuah lo ochal lecha. It's mashma that there's going to be a shevuah on himself that he's not going to eat from him. Shevuah she'ochal lecha. Or, right, that he's going to be a sur and he's sur shevuah. Meaning, if he says lo shevuah she'lo ochal lecha, it's mashma that he's not going to eat. It's not going to be prohibited to him on a shevuah, right? But that which he's going to eat from you is going to be a sur to him with a shevuah. So therefore, if somebody is going to say any of these lishonot, it's mashma that he's not going to eat from his friend. Meaning, you know how it is, that somebody gets upset at somebody else, I'm never going to come to your house again. I'm never going to speak to you again. I'm not going to, they always say these things. So if he just says, I'm never going to, that's not a shevuah. But if he made a shevuah, he swore, right? That's what you never use to mention, I swear. Remember that. Yeah? Never mention it. Yeah? Right. And you never say never. Right? Very good. So he says over here like this, right? It's going to be a sur. Right? It's going to be a sur. Why? Because you said these lishonot of shevuah, and you said it to do with your friend. So he comes and he says, right? Amar Abaya comes and he says, Leolam de'achil namashma. Really, be'emet, it is like what you just said. But derech klal, whenever you say she'ochal, it means that you're going to come and you're going to eat. You're being mekabel al tzmecha shata chayav le'echol. But here's not a question. Why? Kan be'misarvim bo le'echol, ve'kan be'she'en misarvim lo le'echol. Meaning it all depends whether they're putting him pressure to eat or not. You know how it is. It's somebody comes and he says, eat. No. And then he comes and he swears that he just ate. Or he swears that he... So then there is the thing. He said because they're putting pressure on him. Servimbo. So he says, matnitin, they're not coming and trying to force him. The guy comes on his own and he says, Shevuah, he makes a Shevuah. So the Braita, and therefore we take a kipshuto. The Braita, they're putting pressure on him to eat. The Ka'amar, and he kept on saying, I'm not going to eat. So therefore, the Kimishtava, so when he's going to make this Shevuah, that's what it means say. Shevuah shelo ochal. He's making a Shevuah that he doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to eat your food. But you're putting pressure on him to eat. So he makes a Shevuah, I don't want to eat your food. Ravashi comes and he says another answer. Ravashi comes and he says, Amar teni shivua she'i ochal lecha. I'm not going to eat from you. So says Gemara, "Yachal." So then obviously, what's a chidushan? Yachem elememna. He says, no. I would have thought to say lishne dit kilele. Stam she'i ochal. Right? Kamashmalan comes teach you that really bemet it's a suit for him now to eat by his friend because of what he just said.